unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time.
So in the mid-90s, or all through the 90s, I was in bands and I was a concert promoter in Salt Lake City, Utah. Doing art, rock posters. I was a one-stop shop. Managed the band, helped write the music, wrote music, made compositions for bands, made the artwork, the posters, the album covers, delivered the tapes. Every single hat you can possibly wear in the music business I wore in the 90s on a local level in Salt Lake City, Utah, including writing about bands and interviewing bands. I interviewed bands for a magazine called Grid. It had their offices in the local alternative radio station X96. So I kind of knew those guys, and I was a pain in the ass to work with because I wanted to do things my way and whatever. But so one of these days they asked me to interview a band called 7 Year Bitch, kind of a punk rock band from Seattle. And so I did that. We went to have lunch somewhere, some expensive restaurant. I don't even think you'd think that the magazine would pay for it, but I don't think they did. I think I just tagged along with the band, went thrift shopping, and I made quick friends with the bass player. I'm not going to name her, but we became really good friends. We just hit it off. You vibe with somebody, same sense of humor. She had a similar background as me. I had recently walked away from the Mormon church. She was raised Seventh-day Adventist. And we just had the same sense of humor. We were both really in sort of rage rebellion against the culture in which we were raised, right? Shortly thereafter, year or two after, I decided to partner up with a buddy of mine in another big famous rock band and buy a house in San Francisco. I was speculating that, the internet boom was going to go crazy, and I wanted to be down and be part of it, So I did that. Moved. Turns out the house that I bought in San Francisco was literally right around the corner from this friend of mine in 7 Year Bitch. Right? And so it was kind of like an instant friendship, and she had a new band going and invited me to come along to check out her band, and I met her new band and made friends with them really quick and really hit it off with the keyboard player and her girlfriend. And we became fast friends. This is like right after I moved to San Francisco, like 1998, maybe 99 at the latest. And so we've been friends for all these years. Not like we hang out every day, but our bands played together. I went to see their band. I videotaped their band. Just regular, seeing friends and having dinners and Thanksgivings and all that stuff together. Right? So, the fact that I said I met her girlfriend tells you that it's a very boring San Francisco story, Anyway, as time goes by, our friendship grows. And again, not the kind where you're talking every day and going to the beach every day, but mutual overlapping interests in music and whatnot. But this friend of mine in the keyboard player and her girlfriend become really good friends of mine, like all the time see them out and about and we're just riffing, and her girlfriend especially. Like there aren't very many people that I know that I've vibed with better than her, just at parties, having a few drinks, and then just standing in a corner riffing, just comedy. one thing, what if, just stupid, childish, fun, laughing, having a good time, riffing, right? So, needless to say, these are two friends that I super value. Three friends, the woman from 7 Year Bitch, same thing, Uh, monthly or bi-monthly, we'd get together and have Ethiopian food at our favorite restaurant around the corner, and catch up and laugh and riff and talk about the things that concern us or whatever. So everything is fine. Everything's going great. And then all through the years, and then 2016 rolls around and Trump comes into the picture. And we all know what happened to San Francisco and the world when Trump came along. And the fact that I wouldn't just join the chorus of people calling him an evil Nazi got me pretty much banned in San Francisco, which was complicated because I had risen because of my photography and my art to this kind of level of, San Francisco notables, you know, invites to every parties, red carpet treatment, come to my party, meet all the billionaires and the guys that are starting startups, and I'm doing magazine covers and all this kind of shit, So everybody wanted a piece of the pie, or that's overdoing it too much. I wasn't like the man about town, but if you have any sort of influence, people just want to be part of that, especially if you're taking pictures of naked ladies and they think that maybe they'll suddenly begin to hang out with naked ladies, But anyway, I'm getting off track. But so interestingly, the singer from this band that, the 7 Year Bitch lady joined, she doesn't go that way. She doesn't fall off the wagon. She doesn't, that's not the right phrase, but she doesn't go nuts. She doesn't automatically hate Trump. She kind of becomes a Trump supporter, and there's rifts that form, and I lose track of, it's just all the posts you see of somebody posting, oh, red Republican, this and that, and Trump's evil and stupid, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, aren't you my friend? Do you think I'm stupid too? And it's like hard to look at that kind of stuff. And admittedly, I'm posting the same kind of shit, so if somebody sees my post and I'm calling that side stupid and evil and whatever, you name it, dumb, wrong, just wrong, You read that stuff on social media and you go, wait, does my friend think that about me? Do they think I'm evil? Do they think I'm stupid? Because I was just defending the people I grew up around. And granted, I spent a long time sort of making fun of Utah and my heritage and lashing out against the Utah culture, because I obviously left it for San Francisco. But it's kind of like that thing is one thing if you do it, another thing if somebody else does it. Like you can talk shit about your family, but if somebody else talks shit about your family, you're like, hey, I don't think this is your place. You don't know what you're talking about, So there's a lot of that. And gradually over time, at first I was kind of like, I danced around the topic, a little bit. Tried to play nice, tried to bring him over, tried to go, hey, come on, you're not being fair here, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You saw it. They all band together and they gradually just start unfriending me, unfollowing me, drop, all these people just dropping off the list, right? Well, my friend, the keyboardist, and her girlfriend, they don't do this. They didn't do that to me. They got a little bit silent, but I still got the invitations for Thanksgiving, and still got the texts, the funny texts and stuff like that. There was no hint that happened, so I was really relieved about that, right? That some people had the cojones to not dump their friend that they've known for 20 years. Almost 20 years at that point. they broke up. Those two, the couple, they broke up, and they both got into different relationships. And they still stayed friends. They stayed friends with each other, and I still stayed friends with them separately, and tried not to take sides. They never involved me in any bickering between them. Blah blah blah. Good friends still, but one of them moved to New York, and one of them stayed here, and she still lives around the corner from me. Not the original one, not the bass player, but the keyboard player. Lives around the corner from me, and it was pretty regular to just have Thanksgiving or Christmas or something with her family and whoever she was dating at the time and people that she knew, you know. Anyway, that's a long preamble. But, so this is where we start the story and why I'm making this thing. Okay? So she's in a new band, and they get a invitation to go play in Hawaii, right? And she says, "You want to come?" I was like, "When?" She goes, "It's actually in 2 days from now." And I'm like, I don't know, man. This is short notice. Tickets are probably really expensive last minute. But I'm thinking, okay, maybe I will. And I'm thinking about it, right? Start checking prices for plane tickets. Start thinking about, what am I going to wear in Hawaii? I got to look cool. My suits are all corduroy. That's too heavy. I don't have anything light. I'm not going to wear shorts. You kidding me? These legs haven't seen sunshine since the 70s, you know? But I'm thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about it. I'm thinking, probably not. But, maybe I should. I got to maintain friendships, right? I got to go. So I really am. I'm looking through my suits that I haven't worn for a long time, and some of them have grown some mildew on them, literally, you know. Thinking, I can't wear that one. Can't wear the turquoise one. That's got some stains. Do I want to take it? Do I have time to take it to the cleaners? You know, have it cleaned? Maybe I'll wear some overalls. Do people wear overalls in Hawaii? You know, I'm just going through all these things. And I'm kind of going, am I inviting myself along? Was that a sincere invitation anyway? Or was that just a friendly, oh, you ought to come? So word gets around that the band isn't happy about me coming on the trip because somebody in the band doesn't like me, right? Somebody I don't even know. But they heard things, about this Merkley fella and how he's anti-trans, he's anti-gay. I mean, imagine this. It's my gay friends that's inviting me. But me having a gay friend isn't enough. So I'm thinking, what the fuck? Is this true? And I want to get to the bottom of it. And I'm going, wait, who's saying this? My friend is starting to be a little weird. Right? She's starting to be a little bit weird, and I can sense it. I'm going, okay, what's going on? Do you want me to come or not? She's, oh, well, it's a little complicated, and I'm thinking, I feel like somebody's wanting me to uninvite myself to make their life easier. And I'm thinking, maybe I should do that. She's my friend. I don't want to cause any drama with her and her new friend in a band. But I'm thinking, how can you do that? How can you allow somebody to cancel you and then pressure your friend into going along with this cancellation? So I'm starting to get really, like, what do you do? Do you press forward and you go, I was thinking, oh, she'll do the right thing. She'll put her friend in her place and defend me, and say, no, you're wrong. You're wrong about Merkley. These things that you're saying about him, you're wrong. He's my friend, and he's been my friend longer than you have. This is kind of what I'm expecting to happen or hoping will happen. But I'm not seeing it happen. I'm seeing my friend sort of cave to the pressure, or I see her caving, in the process of caving, right? And so my frustration is building. I'm thinking, this can't be right. You got to have more courage than this. We've been friends for 25 years. How are you letting this person smear me? So I would try to get down to the bottom of it. She goes, well, she read an article, that you wrote in a Salt Lake City paper years ago. And I thought, well, okay, I've done this, but come on, what did I write? I interviewed Frank Black and Poe. I'm thinking of all the band, Ween. I'm thinking, what could I have ever written back then? I'm like, well, what did she read? Tell me what she wrote. What did I say that makes her think that I'm this awful person, right? And so eventually I get this clipping of a paper, and it says Dave Merkley. And I go, oh, well, okay, I guess I did go by Dave Merkley back then, but I was already going by Merkley 3 question marks. So I was like, that can't be me. And I start scanning the paper, and it gets to this point where this person attributed to me is saying all this gibberish nonsense. It's not even like anti-trans or anti-gay. It's not even about that. It's just pure gibberish. Like I'm thinking, okay, this is somebody, because I was kind of a bit of a thing in Utah too because of my rolling with rock bands, interviewing rock bands, and rock star shit, And I had haters there too. There was a band called Die Merkley Die when I lived in Utah. And they aped my artwork and just basically tried to mock me. I thought it was fantastic, quite frankly. I thought it was funny because I knew the people that did it. And yeah, I knew that they didn't like me, but I knew they were also clowning on me. And I thought, okay, that's fine. But so I thought, this is a spoof. Somebody's done a spoof of me, and now it's getting me into trouble. And I'm telling my friend, look, you can clearly see this isn't me. That's not what I said. I've never said anything like that. This is obviously somebody making fun of me. But anyway, the concerned member of the band that doesn't feel safe being around me, doesn't want to be associated with me, she's gaining more steam and she's digging in her heels. She's not wanting to. My friend isn't coming around. She's being a wuss, is what she's doing. And I get into this mode of, you got to pick sides, and you can't do that. If you give somebody an ultimatum, you're probably not going to win, and you don't deserve to win, right? Ultimatums are bad. But yet, even as I know that, I'm still thinking, but no, you do have to pick. Are you my friend? Are you going to allow this injustice to stand? Now you're starting to realize why people don't invite me anywhere, because it has to turn into something like this. And who wants this kind of shit? Who wants this kind of drama, But yet I can't really reason my way out of it because I think, well, if I just go, you know what? I didn't really want to go anyway. And I didn't really want to go. So it was like, I was kind of looking for an excuse to not have to go to Hawaii. But I couldn't accept it on those terms. It's like you're handing this person who's wanting to cancel you for your wrong think or your wrong speak that's not even yours anyway. I was thinking, I can't do that. How do you do that? You can't do it. You just can't do it. So I'm trying to be patient with my friend. I'm trying to go, you'll do the right thing, But she isn't looking me in the eyes and is kind of giving me all the signals that she's already made up her mind. And I'm not going to come out the winner. She's picking her new band over her old friend. So I lose my temper, and I say, I'm pointing because I'm a pointer. It's bad. But when I'm arguing, I use a lot of finger pointing. I don't try to do it. It's just that's what my fingers do. I start when arguing, and I'm making accusations, and I'm going, you got to stop being a fucking coward. This cowardice cannot stand. And I'm almost poking her in the forehead at this point, you know? And even as I'm doing this, and now I'm on a sabotage suicide mission. I'm not going to win this. This is not the way you win this, because now I'm giving every emotional excuse to back away from me. And go, yeah, that guy's crazy, I'm not trying to make it easy for her to pick her band over me, but by my behavior, that's exactly what I'm doing. Because I'm being emotional and I'm issuing basically an ultimatum. And so I blow up and I'm saying, this can't stand it. If you're going to be a friend, you can't do this. You cannot do that. And I said, I'm coming to Hawaii no matter what. So you better call the venue and have a security guard block me out, because I'm coming to Hawaii and I'm going to watch your show. And you're going to have to deal with me. Again, every word that's coming out of my mouth is cementing the deal where I am destroying a friendship, But my justification is, no, you're destroying it. You're destroying it. If you don't value our friendship enough to stand up for me and to tell your new bandmate, fuck you, this is my friend, then you're the one that's destroying it. And so it's like kind of one of those things where you're just like, you can't fire me, I quit. I'm taking control of the situation, knowing that I'm just destroying everything. I'm lighting a flame to it, Almost poking her in the forehead. You need to show some backbone. You need to have some moral fiber. You need to have character here. Anyway, she doesn't say anything, leaves the room. And then I hear Mike Rowe. Do you know who Mike Rowe is? He lives in San Francisco, or used to. He's a guy that does dirty jobs. I hear his voice coming out of the radiator. I know, weird, right? And he's being interviewed about this fight that I just had. And I'm like, I got to get on there. Why? He's talking about me. So I tap on the radiator and I start talking to Mike Rowe. I say, I'm a little nervous because he's a person that's worthy of admiration. I'm not saying I'm a big fan or anything, but I'm thinking, oh shit, okay, now I'm on the radio, talking to the radiator, and there's this corkscrew in the radiator. It's making it work. And I start talking to Mike. I was like, Mike, how would a guy like you deal with this? You have more grace and patience than I do. And I never got his answer, because that's when I woke up. That's right. I just tricked you into listening to my dream from last night. The dream starts from the invitation to Hawaii. Everything before that wasn't a dream. The dream is the Hawaii invitation forward. But boy, was it real. And boy, does it really epitomize many of the interactions I've had in San Francisco. That's the feeling. The feeling that you've been unjustly accused of hatred or whatever, Like, okay, friend, that was my friend that I've hung out with many times. It's been at my house. We've gone on vacations together. I know your parents, You think I secretly hate you? You think I secretly hate you? Are you mad? And it is. It's this insanity. There's an insanity about it. You know? Like the original bassist that I started out with, we're not friends anymore. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. Because my character hasn't changed. You know? I've become less patient with dealing with lies. You know, I won't stand by and have somebody impugn the character of a whole swath of people. Republicans are all evil. Am I supposed to just sit there and take that? You know? Because they're impugning me. And what good is it being alive if you can't even defend yourself against a character attack by somebody who's allegedly a friend? Who cares about the strangers? Who cares about the strangers? But it's the friends. It's the friends that through cowardice, and I think it's cowardice that does it. And in this dream, my friend not standing up for me, it was because of cowardice. It wasn't because she believed that I was bad. You know, this friend, this bass player, I know she doesn't think I'm a bad person. Maybe she's convinced herself that I turned into a bad person, that Trump turned me into a bad person because of this cult that I've joined, you know, that nonsense. But it's cowardice, you know, and that's kind of, I was saying this to a friend yesterday, that's the thing that I could say is the more prevailing phenomenon in a city. You know, cowards flock to cities. Cowards flock to herds. They don't want to stand out alone. They might dye their hair purple or whatever, but they're doing it because their friends are doing it too. You know, is they swap one herd for another herd, even a bigger herd, a city herd, where all their needs are met. You know, they don't have to sit out in a field and tow or plow it and mow the lawn and take care of any chickens or anything. It's a city. And city folk mentality is one of kind of cowardice, you know? Hide in the crowd. Do what your friends are doing. If there's 10 people saying one thing and one person saying another thing, you do what the 10 people say. And that's what was happening in that dream. My friend was taking sides because there was more of them than there was of me. And unfortunately, that's true almost anywhere you go. People are very herd-like when they do stuff. It's like, even if they're on the right side of it, most of the people are making that decision based on not whether it's right or wrong, whether the principle is good or not. It's left and right. Let's look. What are my friends doing? What is the majority doing? I'm doing that because I don't want to stand out. Anyway. Sorry for making you sit through my dream. But let me tell you something. If I would have told you, first of all, there's only one or two people listening to this anyway, but this is just good advice, by the way. If you want to tell somebody about your dream, just tell it like it happened. Say, this is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. You know, weed out the little parts that make it obviously like a dream, like Mike Rowe being trapped in the radiator. And just tell it like it happened, because it did happen. You dreamt it, and that's what happened. You know, and then after you can tell them it was a dream. But at least they'll listen to you while you're telling the story. They won't tune out. And I don't know if everybody is that. Maybe there are some people out there that when you say, you want to hear about my dream? They go, yeah. Like I'm one of those people. I do. If you want to tell me about your dream, I want to hear about it. But you got to be good at telling it. It's just storytelling stuff, you know. But anyway, I'll probably tag my friend. No, I won't tag her, but I'll send them a link so they can listen to this. I have this other thing too where I tell my friends if they appear in my dreams. It's a rule that I have. Like if I dream about somebody, I have to tell them about it, whether I want to or not. It's a rule I just set for myself because I have a theory that they deserve to know what's happening, how they've affected the subconsciouses of other people. I wish the cultural norm was that if you dreamt about somebody, that dream, that experience belonged 50% to that person, that it needed to be shared with them. Now, I get why most people don't share it, because it can be like somebody's got a new boyfriend or a girlfriend. There's times when it just feels weird to tell somebody about the dream. But it feels like there's an injustice if you don't. There's this whole invisible network of connections that is going ignored. It seems like a crime to not tell somebody about the dream you had of them. It feels like you're taking their property because it was their presence and their influence in your life that caused you to have that dream. Even if it's good or bad, you might have a nightmare about somebody who wronged you. And that's the reverberation of that wronging, and it hasn't been settled. So not even telling them about that is like sparing them the consequences of their deeds. I get it. This is insane. I know, because it's just like, shut up, Merkley. People just got their own shit to deal with. They don't need to deal with how they're affecting your dreams and blah, blah, blah. Then, you're probably right. But you might be wrong. You might be wrong. Anyway, thanks for listening.